Hey friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me again. Today I want to talk about the feeling of burnout. Now, I don't know if you've ever felt burnout, but I know that I definitely have, and it is not a fun feeling. The reason I brought up burnout is I recently put together a survey and sent it out in a couple different mom communities I'm in Facebook, just to get a general understanding of what other people struggle with. I know that I know what I struggle with, and those are demons I continue to fight every single day. But it's nice to hear the perspective of other people who are going through similar paths, similar journeys, and to find out what they struggle with. I know if it's something I've struggled with in my own journey, I really want to help and see what I can do to offer any tools that have really helped me along the way. So burnout was a really big one that I got, and honestly, I'm not really surprised. Being a mom, I think burnout kind of comes hand in hand if you're not taking care of yourself. So what is burnout? Burnout to me means that you are basically a cup. Okay, so imagine yourself as a cup. And as a cup, you can be full of liquid, you can be halfway full, you can be halfway empty, however you choose to look at it. But when you think about it, burnout is when you are completely empty. You have nothing left in that cup to give to anybody else. And that's not fun, because what happens with burnout is a couple different things that come along with that. So not only is that emotion of like, screw this, screw everybody, I don't want to be here, and you just kind of want to clean your hands and walk away. I'm not going to do anything ever. It's kind of like when you have a really long to-do list and you're so not interested in doing any of it. So instead of doing anything, you just take a nap. It's the worst. It's like anti-productivity, the best nap ever, but you always wake up feeling like, ugh, I should have done stuff, and now the day is over and I gotta squeeze 4 hours of stuff into 2 hours. So it's kind of the same thing with burnout. You don't really realize it's coming. It slowly starts to creep in. You then hit a wall of burnout where you just don't want to, like I said, don't want to deal with anybody or anything. And then you just kind of throw your hands up and think to yourself, gosh, I wish I would have just taken care of it a little bit more before that, because then all the mean words come out, all the other emotions that come with burnout come. So when I think about what else comes with burnout, I think about resentment. Resentment is a really big one for me. It's like I start to get really resentful of all the people who aren't contributing in my mind as much as they should, because, you know, I've contributed and done all these things, then you should do all of these things, obviously, right? But the thing is that's unspoken. I don't talk about it. I just assume in my mind that they know. But how often does that work? Like never, right? So resentment's a big one. Irritability. I hate to say it out loud, but I get really irritable with my kids. That's kind of the first place I take it out, and that doesn't feel good. I never feel good afterwards. I always feel terrible. And that's just it's not the mom I want to be. It's not the mom I expect of myself, I guess is the best way to put it. Another emotion that comes with burnout is apathy. I'm a huge person that I go like almost straight to apathetic, where it's like, I don't care. I'm not interested. I don't care what you do. I don't care how that impacts anybody. And that's not aligned with the person that I want to be. I do care. I am interested in making sure that everything is taken care of and everybody's taken care of. But when I get to that apathetic stage and I'm just like, could care less, it's not fun for me. And I know that my family feels it and they see it too. Another emotion that comes with burnout is procrastination. Anybody out there ever procrastinate? I am a huge procrastinator. And even to the point where my best friend sent me a video about procrastination. Like, it's not a secret that I choose to find anything and everything I can do before I actually do the thing I'm supposed to be doing. So yeah, procrastination's not fun, and I always get mad and beat myself up at night when I'm laying in bed and think to myself, I could have done all these things, I could have gotten closer to my goals, but I didn't. I decided to procrastinate and sit on Facebook and Snapchat and Instagram for way too long, looking at the same pictures over and over again instead of just doing what I'm supposed to be doing. The last thing is the increased amount of unhealthy coping. So are you a big shopper? Is that a bad habit that you have where you just don't need stuff? You're just shopping to shop? Do you smoke? Do you drink? Whatever, insert there, whatever it is that you do that's a bad habit that doesn't really do anything but help you avoid your emotions, which then can plummet even further. So why is it so important to notice when you're starting to get burnout? I think for two reasons. One, the most important thing is that you can prevent your burnout, because again, when you get to that place, I know for me and I know for you, you're not the person that you want to be. You're not showing up the way you want to show up, and you lay in bed at night and worry about how you came across, what you said, the actions that you took. So that's the first reason. You will really want to make sure that you're noticing the burnout. But the second reason you want to notice burnout is that's really, in my opinion, your soul's way of telling you, hey, you're not taking care of me. You need to slow down and make sure that I'm getting nourished. Because when we put the expectation out there on everybody else that they're going to fill us up, then all we have at the end of the day is really let down expectations. It's nobody else's job to fill us up. I know that sounds crazy. I constantly am thinking like, well, my kids should see how, great I'm doing, and they should recognize all the effort that I'm putting in here as a mother. They're 10 and 6. They're not necessarily going to recognize that. And my boyfriend has his own life. I don't need him to recognize me, although it's great and I love it. It's my job to fill me up and nobody else's job, because I'm going to be with me forever. And so I need to make sure I'm taking care of me. So when you think about self-care and taking care of yourself, filling your cup back up, right? What does that look like for you? A couple things I like to do is I love to go to the bookstore with no kids. It's like my favorite thing. But then sometimes I like to take my kids to the library. That also fills me up. It can really just depend on the phase and part of my life that I'm burnt out in and what I need to do to refill. So don't forget that self-care doesn't have to be really rigid. You don't have to make sure that you take a day off and you go out and you spend a whole day by yourself. It can be whatever works for you. I know a big thing for a lot of people is that they don't have enough time for self-care. So I'm going to be doing a time management video coming up here shortly. And that's going to talk a lot about having kids and how to manage your time and how to really accomplish all the things you want to accomplish. I have been studying time management for literally 5 years, and I am so much more efficient now than I was when I started. I didn't even think it was possible to do all the things that I do in a day just 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So when I do the video on time management, that will really help. But if you have any questions or thoughts on, feeling burnt out or what you do to, recover from that burnout feeling, I'd love to know more. Drop a comment below. Make sure you subscribe. Also, if you just want to reach out and chat a little bit more, you can reach me through my website. It's DesiHernandez.com. And I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to know what you learned from this, if it helped. Just even knowing you're not alone, I know that helps me a lot. So I hope you have a great day.